And you're on the dock with Pastor Troy, Mother Beth, Lucas, and Donna Kanuski. She's on the she's the master of ceremonies over there. She's on the whole board over there. And I just ate 6 Oreo cookies, so I'm wired up, ready to go. Here we go. We're on the doc.org every Tuesday and Thursday. Donna's doing her. She's directing. She's our executive producer, but today she's also our director. She's not the executive director. She's sitting next to the executive director, but she's directing this telecast episode, and we'll see how many times he slaps her hand. We're going to keep a count. Every time he has to reach over and correct something, we're going to start. Have you done any yet? Are we at 0 or are we? There's already 1. Let me get. I'm going to put them 1. We got 1. Okay. We're going to see if we get the if we. Yeah. You got to turn. Hey, you got to turn Beth's microphone on now. Hang on, that's number 2. Mother Beth, how you doing?
I'm great. I thought the director just sat in a chair and did nothing.
Well, that's what he's doing right now. He's actually having to work. He points things.
He's the director.
He's the executive director, but the console directors have to do stuff. So,
okay.
Let me finish my intro. On the doc.org every Tuesday and Thursday, we're on conversations that propel you. Probably you want to turn us off. Propel your faith out of the shallows into the deeps. Hang out with us. It's going to be great. This is Donna's first. Be gentle. She's ready to go. Out of the shallows into the deep. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, Google Play, Facebook, Roku, Rumble, and Sermonette. And you can comment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, get her. Tell us to leave her alone or keep count with us. She's at 2 right now. She's got 2. Keep count. Keep 2. We're going to do good. Now, we'll see what happens. Maybe 3, but I think it's 2. Just 2. Oh, we're at 3. Hang on, let me get that. Okay. All right, we're at 3. Hit subscribe, like, notify, tell other people about us. Be contagious with On the Dock. Help us out. Go to my Patreon. One of our focus this season as we kick off season 3 is to ask you to consider being a My Patreon partner. 4 levels of partnership. Go check out those tiers. Download the My Patreon app. Look up On the Dock with Pastor Troy. You'll find us there. You can also go to our website at onthedock.org. There it is right there. And you can get a link over to My Patreon or download the app. Be a partner. There's also 3 levels of sponsorship. So you, your business, your organization, yourself could sponsor an episode. We'd love to have you here. There's different levels. We'll talk about your product. Put your product, if you got a mug or something, we'll get you out here. We'll talk about what you do. We'll even maybe bring you on and do a show or series with you. Love to have you. Go to my Patreon, check that out. Again, on the doc.org. Find out about that. Email us at info@onthedoc.org. You can talk to Donna. Give her any pointers you want to on how to properly direct the show. She already knows how to produce the show. She's, now she's got to get behind the key. So we're ready to go here. You've got Pastor Troy, Mother Beth. I'm going to show our couples picture, Beth, today. Our couples picture. There we are.
I like that better.
Yeah. Give me some sort of sound effect, Donna. He has no idea. Not the Twilight Zone.
Not the director.
Yeah.
I just picked a button.
Do you know what they do, Lucas?
I don't have it memorized.
You don't have it memorized? Yes, Mother Beth. Maybe we should label them, Donna.
No, it's much more fun this way.
Lucas is here today. He's our Techno-Wizard executive producer, our director on the show, and Donna Kanuski today. She's over there producing today, directing today, and we don't have Colt with us today, but we'll have Colt back with us on our next filming episode. We'll keep count on him. He's coming back with 1 full day under his belt, so we'll see how he does, and we'll be real hard on him, Donna.
I was going to ask if you counted on him.
I didn't. We failed. We just did it to you because it feels funner.
Yeah.
But what we'll do...
I've got a mute button over here.
Yes. Donna is in control right now. She's learning the power.
I'm done.
No. You're a part of the team. That's why you got to. Did you put your camera on when you did that?
No.
Okay. That's 4. Try it again, Donna. Say something and put your camera on.
Do I have to?
Yes, you got to put your camera on. I mean, why do we waste time to put a camera up there?
The seat ejector at 6.
Yeah. The people want to see what you do.
Okay, I unmuted, which is correct.
And you did that.
And then I turned on the camera.
And the buzz is still there, so the air conditioner must be running. So we figured out that our air conditioner is causing some sort of electrical thing. Lucas has got to solve these problems, and that's why he's the executive director, because he's got to solve these problems. Nobody else can.
Is the temperature okay in here?
It feels wonderful to me. You eat a couple Oreos, who cares? Okay. I had Oreos. If there's Oreos in my teeth, people, I've not been using meth. I don't have black teeth because of that. It's Oreos. So just checking here. We're building a stronger church series, The Resistance Training Camp. Rule number 5, part 5. Rule 5 and part 5, they go together. They kind of a new deal for this deal. All right. They won't always go like that, but they will for this. So we're here on the show. We're ready to go. Got Mother Beth here and the team here. And Donna, you're going to hear from. You might see her if she remembers to switch her camera. But remember, she's working on this. So it's going to be her first episode when she loads this. It'll be like a newborn baby. She won't just produce it. She will direct it. She'll be like, I'm the person behind it. So she's excited. I'm excited for her. I'm excited to have these guys learning to do this, and I'm glad they stepped up to help us do that. Now that Lucas is married, I can't get him all the time to come here. He's got to get these guys trained so we can. Sometimes our guests can't come the 1 hour that his new wife will let him be out of the house. So no.
Maybe she just likes the fact that he can come home for an hour.
Yeah, she likes that. I know.
Because he does have another job.
He does have a few jobs.
A few.
Yeah. All right. We're talking about resistance, you being the resistance. We're not asking you to go out there and resist right now. Part of our goal in this series is to get you in training so that when the season comes, when you get that opportunity, you'll be prepared and ready to be tested by God, and the enemy will be defeated, and you will be a good and strong witness. That's our goal in all of this that we're doing. And we've been talking about James 4:7 as a heart of this. So we want you to humble yourselves. We want you to resist the devil, and he'll flee. But you resist the devil because you've built up a strength, inner core strength. Push-ups and set-ups and all those things build core strength up. So when you have to do things, you have something to pull together. The Bible says, verse 8, come close to God, and God will come close to you. Wash your hands. You sinners, purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided. God wants us to not be divided. He wants us to be clean and live a holy life so that when we need to stand up for him, we can stand and the devil will have no authority on us. So that comes through what we call spiritual isometrics or resistance training. It's like doing calisthenics, but we're talking about the spiritual calisthenics. And we're all about that right now, trying to help you be ready to help us make a change in the church. The world is flipped. We used to be a godly world. We're kind of a secular world now. Godly people used to be the majority. Now we're the minority. And the only way to do that is for you to get in playing shape out there on the dock, fans. Get in playing shape so that you can serve the Lord and begin to lead people back to Christ. On our last episode, we talked about helping people get up on the rock. To get up on the rock, they have to see the manifestation presence of God in your life so they can realize God is real. So many people think God and Jesus is almost like Santa Claus. It's not. God is real, and we have got to be living witnesses to him again in this day. Well, let's go to our scripture here. I want to read to you from Matthew 7. We're going to get to rule number 5, and here we go. Matthew 7, verses 24 through 29. It's just one screen. It's a short little text. It's actually one of my favorite verses in the Bible. It is the verse behind the song that I will have sung at my funeral, On Christ the Solid Rock. And the other song that'll be sung at my funeral, they can sing other stuff, but It Is Well is one of the other two that I have. I have those on big. I gotta get a frame. I got a frame in front of my office door that's got the lyrics to both of those songs there. That says Troy's final song. So whoever is in charge of my funeral will grab that and take it and hand it to the keyboard player and say, play these 2 songs and stick them in a hole. That's what they're going to do. Yeah. And I'll be happy. That's what I want. All right. And Beth and I already know where we're going to go. We bought us a little place out the Heron Cemetery. We know right where it is, sitting near some of our friends out there. There's a nice tree, and we've gone out there and kind of sit on top of it like living. So I'm ready for it. So I am ready in season, out of season to be with the Lord. Some days I wish I could be closer than others. You guys ever just think about, some days, I like to live for Jesus, and Paul says living for Jesus is good, but Paul said also to die for Jesus is to gain. Every now and then you think, man, I wish he'd bring me home. And
he's not going to do that.
I know. I think the more you say that, the more he goes, he's not coming right now. He hasn't learned just to put his head down and plow. So I need to put my head down and plow. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. If you're with us, listen closely. Don't go to sleep while you're driving. No. Matthew 7, 24. Anyone who listens to my teachings, these are the words of Jesus, and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on the solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and the floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teachings, for he taught with real authority, quite unlike their teachers of religious law. I don't know what that says about the teachers of his day and the religious law. It's probably pretty rough, obviously, because I think it just makes real good sense. If you're going to build something and you want to have a good, strong foundation, you need to get it on something solid. Our text, again, is one of my favorite, the core behind one of my favorite hymns is that if you live a solid faith, then if tomorrow is my last day or today is my last day, then you're ready. You're on the rock. So there's a security to that. It also lets me know that if it's not my day and I got to take on challenges, I'm in a position where I have a chance to plant myself and be protected. I'm not going to be undermined or eroded. So I just love that whole text. So the Rule 5, I'll tell you what it is in a minute. You're going to get Rule 5. It's going to be a little bit backloaded here. I front-loaded it on the last one. But Rule 5 is a rule and a message that I want to talk to you about today is about planning. So in training camp, in sports, you're training, in essence, for the future games and the future season. You're building playbooks and planning for future needs of those plays. You're preparing game scenarios. When we go to out to Pittsburgh to watch the training camp, they always do a thing called 7 shots. They take the ball down inside the 10 and tell them they have 7 shots, or 20-yard line, and say they got 7 shots to score. And what they do is they grade them based on how many times they score in those 7 shots. So, I mean, the perfect score would be to score in all 7 plays. That would be like, man, you're really good in the red zone. So, and then and sometimes they don't score at all, and then you go, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a terrible, pressure, because it's pressure, it's tight. Plays in the red zone are different because when you're on the 10-yard line, you only have 20 yards of field. You have 10 yards before the goal line, 10 yards in the end zone. So everything's quicker. You don't have as much room for receivers to run around. You have the defense can kind of sit down in a zone across the end zone and say, here's the line, you can't come. And you have 10 yards to run the ball, so it's not as easy to run it to the end zone. So everything's compressed, and so you both have to be very disciplined. So this message is like preparing for down the road when we're in the red zone and we need to really pull out the play and be ready for a real world experience. So the message is about planning. It's about preparation, and it's about building on something for a time when we need real experience. So let me start with this graphic and this statement. I got to find it now. I'm the wrong page, and I'm in the wrong zone. This is what Oreos do to you. I can't give you that one yet. Hang on, I'm coming. Oh my goodness. Oh, we could.
Should I be talking?
Oh yes.
You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have anything to talk about.
I'm having a moment of panic. Yeah.
Do you have the wrong?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure yet though. So just, I could, but I'm not sure. No, it looks like it's the real one. No, it's the right one. I don't know why I'm having so much hard time. It's because of Donna.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I'm not having a stroke. I'm having an Oreo moment. Okay, here it is. It's not about the now. So what we're talking about is not about the now. We're talking about being ready for the now. Does that make sense to any of you? What we're talking about today on the dock as you drive along or sit along or listen along, we're not talking about the now. We're talking about being ready for the now. Being ready for the now. You guys aren't getting this, are you?
No.
You guys are all having brain freeze or something. We're not even, no Dairy Queen, no nothing.
I don't understand.
Okay, let me go deeper.
Expound.
Okay. You can get ready for now, for what the enemy in the life will bring tomorrow. So what we're doing on this episode is not for the now. We're preparing you for what the enemy's going to do to you later so that tomorrow you'll be ready to have that play to score. When the enemy comes against you and wants to keep you from getting what God wants you to have, we're going to train you now to be ready for then. Because right now we're in here. We're on the dock. Nothing matters. We're chilling. We're relaxing. I've got a new cup of tea here. Man, it's nice.
So
we're under no
what
threat.
You're saying is we're under training now for when the now gets here.
we're in training now for when the stuff hits the fan tomorrow.
That now.
Okay. So it's not about the now. It's about being ready for now.
That now.
That now. For when it goes like, now's the time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're training in training camp and you're out dribbling the ball, Lucas, and you're doing soccer drills, that's not about, when he does soccer drills, it's not about the now. It's about when he's in the game and he needs to be able to do that to score the winning goal.
Got it.
So we're not about the now. We're about getting ready for the time when we need him now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of where we are right now. And you listen, this is a truth. I mean, this is a 35-year pastoral truth. Okay. You will rise or fall based on what you did in your life yesterday. How you prepare yourselves will determine your success tomorrow. Your ability. Yeah, exactly. If you've worked out and you've worked that muscle and then you have to make this lift later, you'll be able to handle it. You know, you'll be able to handle it. And let me say, I did something that was so, I used up, I mean, my beard's completely gray now. You can kind of see it there. And my hair still got a little darkness to it, so it's nice, but starting to get around the edges. But I used to be a power lifter. I could bench press 400 plus pounds, squat 750, 800 pounds, easy. I've leg pressed as much as 1,000, you know, that's when you're back on a press. And I was doing some of that when we were in ministry 30 years ago. Yeah, before that. No, in the 2000s.
Before we were married.
Yeah. But I mean, I did tons of that, you know. And I'm still, Beth says I'm still strong, but I am not strong anymore.
You're very strong.
I'm a wuss. She says I'm strong because of the way I put jars.
You're a strong man.
Yes. No. So we were out.
You are, but you're not. You haven't been working on your outward looking.
I've got the strong frame, but it is not my ready for now is not ready for the now. So, but I still have a little ready memory. I have like some, you know. So I was at this incredible weekend experience with Ben, who's one of our co-hosts a lot of times. Odolini, he's our worship pastor here at Community Faith, and he was at a thing called a Man Up conference. And hosted by a guy named Terry from Integrity Roofing, team of men, a group of men. Phenomenal weekend experience for men getting away. I went out there to cook a pig for them for a Saturday meal and stayed up all night cooking an incredible pig. And Ben was my pig co-host. So he was there to help me handle the pig and move the pig and set the pig up and do all this stuff with the pig. So we got the pig on the table there and we got him all mustered up and then put all the seasoning on him. He's on the table getting him all prepped. And we were going to flip him up. We had Jacob with us. Jacob, who goes to church here, Scout. Jacob, there's the three of us were getting him all mustered up. And we're getting ready to lift the pig. And we look around and Jacob doesn't look like he's done a lot of weight training. So Ben and I said, I think Troy and I'll get this ourselves. And this is a 150-pound pig. So we got to lift him up from the table up to a 2-foot higher stainless steel table because Jacob had a good idea. We were going to carry him over and put him on the grill. And Jacob says, why don't you put him on that cart and roll him over? I said, boy, may be not working out, but the brain works fine. You know, said, good idea, son. So we got over there and Ben and I finally decided though, I said, well, why don't you two get that in or I'll get this in. He said, no, Troy, I think you ought to lift us. Okay. So I looked at Ben. Ben said, let's do it on 3. Let's lift the pig. And I said, now, Ben, just a second. I know you're young and strong and you're virile still. You got young kids. I was you one day. Now, this is heavier than it looks for me. And Lucas had, Luke, he had the butt end. The butt end of a pig's much heavier because it got the hams, the bigger. I had the head end, so got a little bit of head, but the arms are smaller. And so I thought, man, this is going to be tough. So we get ready to lift the thing and move. And man, Ben says, oh, you can do it. You're strong. And I said, Ben, I know I look big, but it's not what you think anymore. This used to have been I used to take these pigs when I was younger doing pigs. I just throw them on my shoulder and throw them. I would literally have taken that pig. We've done them in our yard. I would have thrown him over my shoulder, take him over and thrown him in the grill. Okay. Right. Not anymore. Oh. Ben lifts that pig up, jerks it over, and I'm still trying to lift it off the table, you know? And Ben's got it up waiting on me. I'm trying to get the front end moving. And I looked at Ben and I said, Ben, this is going to cost me, but I'm going to do this. I'm kicking it in. I go, it went up. I was just like, it's up. I moved it over, boom, we dropped it right on the table perfectly. And I looked at Ben and I said, that just took 5 more years off my life.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I just used the last bit of my grandpa's strength.
Awful.
So now my poor grandchildren will think I'm feeble. I burnt up the last of all I worked. So all my workout is about gone. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to go back to the gym and see if my old physique can get ready now for what the life brings me tomorrow. In other words, I almost couldn't handle that pig, which has been easy in the past because I hadn't been putting the work in, and I've just gotten old, fat, and soft, you know. And you're going to rise and fall based on what you did yesterday. And to be honest with you, honestly, Ben was probably holding more of the pig, or we'd have dropped the pig, and it would been terrible. So I want to say this: life. I got this on the formula. Yeah, it's a true story. I mean, we got done. We got ready to push the thing on, and I said, Ben, just give me a minute. I need to recover for a second. You know,
there were lots of other men there. Why didn't
they
you
were
get
all
somebody?
They were doing man camp things.
Well, that's a man camp thing.
It was me, Ben, and
you just
and
couldn't
Jacob.
do it. You just couldn't.
Wasn't
No,
the name-
I did it. No, I did it.
No, I mean you just couldn't ask somebody else to do it for
Well,
you.
Lord, no, it's a man camp.
Wasn't the name of the camp Man Up?
Yes,
Well, then
I manned up.
everyone could have manned up.
Yeah, but they weren't. I didn't
No,
want.
he manned up.
I manned up. Come on, girls.
We almost had a man down.
Yeah, we did. I'm just telling you, it was something else. Beth will tell you, I came home the next day, got in bed at 3:00, and got up the next morning.
Yeah.
So it put me down, you know. Life equals time. So when Lucas was talking about there doing curls and stuff and the dribbling and the drill, you know, it takes your life and time to practice those things. And so what you did yesterday, your time in your life have value. And so you got to make sure you do make good choices with that time. Because when you spend an hour here, that's an hour less that you have over here. So do you understand? We have to understand that what we have to offer God, honestly, is truly our time. God owns us, the dirt and everything we have. The pig was his. What we have that's ours is our free will choice of what we do with our time. And that's our ultimate gift. So that's really kind of what I want to share is that what we're talking about today, I think, is getting you ready so that you'll be ready for your ready time later when now is the time that you got to lift the pig. And I mean this spiritually. Now is the time when you got to take on that devil. Now is the time when you got to deal with this crisis and your faith needs to shine in that time. It's not going to shine because of what you do then. It's going to shine because of the Bible reading you did over the last 5 years, or the prayer you've been doing, or the study, or where you've been faithful. It's going to impact how you handle it. Everything else we have in our life or given in our life is his. But when we earn stuff, or the sweat and the time of our brow, it becomes a part or a piece of our life because it took our time to get it. When people earn stuff, it means more to them than if they're given stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people today that love to be given stuff because our society, everybody expects to be given stuff. But have you ever noticed that people that are given stuff don't keep stuff long? They don't seem to ever have anything long. But you go out and you make your car payments and you earn your car, you will treat your car differently than if somebody gives you a car to drive. Yeah. You know, what's that?
They always say when you pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's true. And I think the same is spiritually true. When you pay spiritual attention to your body, you'll reap spiritual rewards, and when you treat God like he's significant and you give God your time, it really, really changes everything. When you give God your daily time to read the Bible, I start today. Every day. I got up this morning like 6:15 and I got up and I spent my first 40 minutes reading the Bible and praying. First 40 minutes. Then I got all cleaned up and spiffied and shaved and then came over here to work. I was over here before 8, getting ready to go.
Tried to talk me into getting out of bed.
I went in the bedroom and said, I'm done with the bathroom. You can get up now. You didn't move, did you? How long did it take you to move? Well, a bit longer.
We won't talk about that.
Then it becomes, but when you get up and you give God that Bible time and you give him that Bible time today, tomorrow, next day, 10, 12, 15 years later, over time, that becomes a real offering. That's significant. That's real sacrifice. So not for the item's value, but for the lifetime behind the value. And that's how we really give God the glory, is choosing to give God our time, the first of our time, the first of our fruits. And that's why the tithe is so important. That's why the early shall I seek you time, the time with the Bible prayer is so important.
I did read my Bible though.
By the time you
not
read,
at 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a fresher date. Church, on the dock, listeners, listen here. God's team, the resistance, is found in people that want to honor a life lived on the foundation of truth. And the time is now to impact your tomorrow. So right now is where you put the work in, not for now. You put the work in so that you'll be ready to lift that pig. I don't mean the pig, but spiritually meet that challenge tomorrow. I was able to lift that pig for Ben based on my past strength because I still had enough strength to do so. I am aware that it is very waning. And so if there's going to be another pig lifted, this fat boy is going to have to get back to doing what you said, some curls in advance, and some more less couch presses, and more of that.
Hey, those are tough.
Yeah. I've noticed that it's getting harder to push up off the couch these days. It is good for you. It is my best muscle has always been my tricep. Oh, that tricep's not there. Is because you got to use that one to get out of the chair and the recliner. That one's the one that gets you up. That was always my strong, because that's your bench press muscle. And so it's also the one that gets you off the couch. And when you're fat like me, you need that one for sure, or you're stuck. But the problem with that, it helps nothing with that pig. You need the curls. You need the shoulders of the curls. Yeah. My shoulders are like, he's sitting here. It's watching the TV. Doesn't do anything for you. So same thing spiritually though. We need to be doing things to get ready.
It's just some little barbells that you could have at the chair, and you could do a little.
That pig weighed more than barbells.
No, but you could do little barbell lifts while you're sitting there.
Jesus' mission and desire for everybody in the sound of my voice, including you, Beth.
You could do these too.
Is for us as disciples to do what we said in the last episode, to rescue the perishing. How do we rescue the perishing if we don't have the stamina to do so? And to rescue the perishing, you can't have the stamina then. You've got to build it back then. And that's why when I talk to churches and go, can you help us with this family fun day? And they go, oh, we can't because we have volunteer fatigue. We can't cook a hot dog. It's going to tire us out. I'm thinking, man, your people aren't in very good shape to serve the Lord. We only do this one time a year. Maybe store something up for it. Same week every year. This is our godly work, our holy task, our commission is to present the rock to the world, to present the light of Christ, to offer the hand of Jesus and the power of the Holy Spirit to the world. And then we go, well, I'm too tired. I can't get off the couch. My curls will not, my curls are now limited to a 12-ounce cup of coffee, Well, I got that one down. I can do that. Muscle memory for drinking a cup. But you don't have muscle memory for serving in the soup kitchen or serving in your church in a ministry or going out to take a walk with somebody to talk to them about Jesus. Lots of things you could be doing. Our call, and I'm going to show you this in a second, is to pull people. This is amazing. I learned this from another young man. I'm going to tell you about him in a minute. Our call is to pull people, rescue the perishing, is to pull people from the muck and out of the quicksand. And if you've ever had you ever gone out and got your boot stuck in the mud and it sucks down?
Yep.
You could pull your shoe off and be walking barefooted in the mud, right? Right? You've done that. Beth grew up in pig pens. Her dad's a pig farmer. You can get your boot stuck. Cows. Yeah. And then you pull your foot out. Now your foot's walking and boop.
Every time I'd end up riding on his back.
Yeah. So your dad would carry you out. Yeah. Your dad.
Well, no, I would go until I got my boot stuck, and then
your dad carry you out.
He'd carry me the rest of the way.
Your dad made you soft. That's why you were in bed too late this morning. Ooh.
I fed those cows and pigs. I carried buckets of feed.
Well, in the morning when I get up and take off for the office in the morning, I'm going to go, cock-a-doodle-doo! The pigs and the cows want to eat. Get up, go, girl.
And I'll say, I do not live on the farm any longer.
Yeah, Lucas, I was going to see if her muscle memory would jump her out of the bed and go, oh, gosh, guys.
With all those animals, yes, you do.
We got like a whole.
Yes, I do.
Hey, and we had a possum back. We had a new young possum.
We had a possum.
A new possum back. A new baby possum.
so
we'll try to get
cute.
pictures for you on the dock so you can see it. Okay, so our task is to pull people up from the muck and out of the quicksand and out of and away from destruction. How do we do that if we're not training ourselves to be ready to meet those tasks? And if we don't do that, then how do we have communion with the saints if we can't, even lift one up? This text that I'm gonna share with you in a second is really a good text. It was unlocked for me at one of our On the Docks in last year's season. Johnny Wyckoff did a show with us, and go watch his three-part series. Go check it out. You can watch it in its first run early in 23, probably, or late in 22, and probably in the best of. You can find it in our best of series late this year. But Mr. Johnny Wyckoff is a Southern Illinois guy, leads a lot of worship and rock around here. I think he attends Purpose House Church. He's on their platform. Just fine young man. Always plays at Family Fun Day.
I like him.
And he talks about this in his episode. He said his mission statement was his mission. This is his credo statement, so I'm gonna get to it. He says, the rock and sand stuff. He says, young brother Wyckoff shared that one of his credo verses, and I thought this dude is like nothing years old, and he's got like a solid. He grew up in the church. His family's
he's not.
Yeah,
I mean, he's what is he?
21.
Oh, he is.
But
young.
He's been serving the Lord 20. I mean, his mom is Christian.
He's got a headbanger rock band. We love it.
Yeah, he throws that hair around and stuff. But go watch him. He's great. We feature some music in that, don't we, Lucas? So you'll be able to see him.
He was our only encore band.
Yes, at Family Fun Day this year. He's got
Day.
the first ask for an encore of any band that we've ever had. So
that was awesome.
So it was really good. And so Johnny says this. He says, my credo verse is Psalm 40, verse 2 and 3. Psalm 40. And he says, I'm going to tell you what he said the credo was, then we'll go read the Psalm. He said, my credo is that God brought me out of the muck, the quicksand of life, and put me on the rock on solid ground and gave me a new song to sing. What a credo. I love that. My credo is to dream dreams and plan plans so grand that if God's not in them, they're doomed to fail. His is that God brought me out of the muck and the quicksand and then put me on a rock on solid ground and gave me a new song to sing. So he's singing that song. I love that. And he takes it from Psalm 40. So I looked up Psalm 40 for us. I wait patiently for the Lord to help me. He turned to me and heard my cry. It's like your dad, Beth. He lifted me up out of the pit of despair, out of the mud, miry clay or muck in the King James, and the mire, and he set my feet on solid ground.
See, my dad was ready.
Your dad was ready. Yeah. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walked along. He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see what he has done and be amazed. They will put their trust in the Lord. What are they putting the trust on? That you have the new song, that you've gotten out of the muck, that you've gotten on the mire. They're going to see how you live. They're going to see how you do this. And many will see through you, go back to rule 4, your manifestation of God. And be not saved because of you, but inspired to their own salvation because of you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I have to tell you, that young man has one of the finest credos for a worship leading person that I've ever seen. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if I should say this. That young man, I'm going to say it anyway. And we'll find out if anybody listens or cares. We may have to edit this. That young man played his heart out.
Yep.
He was one of the last bands.
He was
the
last band.
I'm going to love on him and say this. He was put in that position because of where he comes from, a very large church. The room should have been full. Mm-hmm. The room was full of those of us that were wrapping up the day. And let me just tell you, the people that are around him that know him need to get closer to what he's doing. He is hot. I know he's not their worship leader, but he is somebody driven by a spirit to lead worship. And they didn't come out. I'm buzzing a little bit here. I don't know why I'm sounding.
Well, I turned on my mic because I wanted
to
add
go ahead.
something.
Yeah. But they missed out on that. Go ahead, Donna.
Well, it didn't matter who was in the room.
He didn't care.
No.
I loved it.
No, his exuberance, and he was praising the Lord, and it really didn't matter. Right. And he was just as happy when he got off that stage, if the room was full or not. He was thrilled.
I loved it.
It was beautiful to see.
Unfortunately, sometimes the people that are I won't say doing the best, that are the deepest, have the least people watching them or
isn't that
following
there
them.
let me just tell you, I'll tell you right now, there are preachers that can preach TD Jakes blind that have 12 people following them.
Right.
There are a lot of better preachers and worship leaders out there than you've ever known, and they just haven't met the producer from the Housewives of New York City, or they haven't made it to that platform.
They're not doing it for that, though.
Right.
They're only doing it for the Lord.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And Johnny is somebody that does that. And I just want to say this to you: next year, if you're connected to his church, Purpose House, come out and you need to see. I mean, other churches come out and supported their bands. Come out and support him.
He's on staff at Purpose House now.
That's good. So hopefully next year they'll come out and support him, because they have brought crowds out in the past, but he came out and represented them, and they need to come see him because they have a firebrand right there for Jesus there. And he was impressive. And, gosh, I'll make sure that people come out and see him, and I'll put him in a different spot or something next year. But I'll call and really encourage him to get some out. He's special.
Yes.
You can read, study, and listen, church, on the Douglas. You can know the Bible and have no relationship with the Rock and his people.
Yeah.
You can read the Bible's literature. You can have studied it. And there are a lot of people like that. The Pharisees, Sadducees, and so many are witnesses to this even today. Your attitude and behavior, your witness reveals whether you really have read, studied, and know the Bible. And like he just played to play, or preachers that preach to preach. Beth and I preached for a couple, months at a church of 3 and 4 or 5 people before I threw a fit and then made them reorganize. But I preached just as good to a crowd of 3.
Yep.
There are other times when we'd go someplace and fill in for somebody and there'd be 4 people there. Some of my first churches out past Goreville, that little town that had that church at the time, it's closed.
Yep.
And we went there and they had, 4 people, and you just preach your little brains out, and I think God appreciates the fact that you are preaching the word in season, out of season, and that 1 and the 2 matter. And if 1 or 2 matter, then he'll give you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that.
I'll tell a funny story about that.
Yeah.
We got there that night, and there was maybe 6 people there. I mean, maybe 10 or 12. I'm not sure.
You're being kind.
It's a decent sized church, and they're scattered all over the sanctuary for some reason.
West Vienna? Was it West Vienna?
I think so. And so before Troy preached, he made them all get up into the choir loft.
I said, all you people stand up, walk up here. And I said, all of you come up here. See these 4 pews in the choir loft behind me? Come sit down. And then I just turned the whole pulpit around. And I said, now that's a church. Y'all, this business is ridiculous.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I didn't last there long. I was only filling in. So
when you're the fill-in, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah. They had a good time though. It was like
they did. It was great.
They had a good time.
It was fun.
I hope you can see it and let it get you ready to lay the foundation. We're going to Rule 5 here pretty quick. This rule is going to give you a place to lay your head and enter into heavenly and family communion. Where are we going with all this? So that, I guess the question is, where are we going? We are going to be the resistance. To be the resistance, you got to be ready to hold something. You got to be ready to lead something. You got to be ready to do something. We as the church, we as Christians, as the body, we as faithful followers of Christ are called to be the resistance. That means we got to be able to pull people up on the rock. We got to be able to not lift the pig, but we got to be able to lift the situation up in prayer. We got to be able to take on the challenge. We are called, listen, church, we are called to live on the rock. And when people come out seeking shelter, we need to be able to be that shelter for them. When they need solid ground, we need to be able to pull them up out of the muck, because we know what muck is like ourselves. We need to pull them up out of faith, out of the miry muck, up to solid ground, and we need to show them a new song. And we need to demonstrate what we sing and then give them a new song and then add to the choir. And then all of a sudden you can have some people in the church. Church, we are called. We were the insiders. For years, we were the insiders in all communities. And today, we've become outsiders. We were normal in our society. Today, Christians are abnormal in our society. But in all honesty, Jesus knows all about this. He was an outsider his time. He commissioned us not to be insiders or normals, but he commissioned us to be abnormal. He commissioned us to be outsiders. He said, you're not in this world. You're not in
of this world.
Yeah, you're in the world, but not of it.
We're supposed to be peculiar.
We're a peculiar, very good, a royal priesthood.
It's a great word.
We're different. We're not even of the Mosaic thing. We're the Melchizedek line. We're a different kind of priesthood. We're a priesthood not built on killing goats. We're a priesthood built on the blood of Jesus Christ, canceling any sin. We're a priesthood built on a priest who pigs became the negotiating end for devils. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't see devils going, oh, Pharisees, would it be okay if we go into the pigs? You know, do you mind? No, Jesus walks up to a man that's possessed, that ripped chains from walls and scared people. Jesus walks up and this powerful man that rips stuff and is demonic says, please don't torment me ahead of time, it's like the demons were weakened in his presence.
Yeah.
We are called to be abnormal. We are not insiders. We are not normal. We're the resistance. And we are called to be warriors for Christ and to win back and bring back the lost sheep of Israel back to God. So what do we got to do? We have to humble ourselves. We got to get in the gym. We got to spiritually get in the Bible. We got to get in prayer. We got to resist the devil and he'll flee from you. Come close to God and he'll come close to you. Got to wash our filthy, dirty, unholy, worldly hands. We got to purify our hearts, make them righteous. And we got to quit being divided in the world. Don't do that. And let me kind of, I'm going to be done here in just a few seconds here. So y'all get your questions ready. Okay. Here it is. If we want to reclaim our territory for God, our homes, our families, our businesses, our church, anything. If we want to reclaim our territory for God, if we want to see the church grow again and have a time of flourishing with the promise of God, we must first resist the devil ourselves. So we got to build some strength up so we can push back. And we're told he'll flee from us. So what do we have to resist? Compromise. I didn't say being nice. I said compromise. We can be nice and go, I'm not doing that. I sure appreciate you, but I'm not into buying that. I'm not going to watch that. We can watch something else. Or I guess I can go take a walk. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to take part in this. I'm not going to be this. And as for me and my house, we're going to go over here. Y'all have a good time with that. We're not going to watch spooky. We're not going to watch scary. We're not going to watch them saw people in half. Or, if anything's going to happen, sawed in half, we're going to read about James, one of the disciples being sawed in half. You want to talk about something scary, go read about what happened to the disciples for being the disciples in a time when everybody hated them for being disciples, which is like now. They all got killed. If you want to read something scary, go read Revelations when God ends the war against the Jews. And we talked about this in church last night. The bodies all across it's the valley of Armageddon. I've been there. It's a field between mountains, but it says there it'll be a sea and a river of blood, like waist deep. That's how many people will be slaughtered and how the blood will run. You want to do spooky? Go read Revelations. Go read Daniel. Go read Ezekiel. Don't go watch some Stephen King twisted mind garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Go read the Word of God. If you want to be scared, find out what it means to not know Jesus for eternity. Yeah, be lost in sin, weeping and gnashing of teeth. Study that one. Yeah. Study some of that stuff if you want to do spooky stuff. But resist compromise. Resist the muck. Don't go in the muck. When people start gossiping about somebody, say, I'm not going to gossip. Let's go talk to him. You want to talk about so-and-so? Let's go talk to him. Oh, no, let's just talk about him. I think I'm going to go do something else because you don't want to do Matthew 18. You don't want to go deal with them. You just want to stir stuff up. Resist the fog of being woke to perversion. Everybody says, well, we got to be woke. You got to accept people for who they are. No, we have to love people with the love of Christ. We don't have to accept their sin. You can love somebody without accepting their behavior.
Right.
Now, they'll tell you, if you don't accept my behavior, then you can't love an enemy. No, that's them saying that to you. You can still love them. I don't need your approval. I need God's approval. So we have to be comfortable and say, that's fine. If we're not going to talk, we're not going to talk. I still love you with the love of the Lord. I'm going to be consistent over here. And if you ever have questions, you'll see where I'm in. You'll come over. Go be the rock. You may have kids that won't walk in your house. Your own kids may not walk in. But at some point in time, your kids are still your kids. And at some point in time, they're going to say, Mom, I need help. Dad, I need help. I mean, how are you going to help them if you're in the muck? You need to be up on the rock so you can pull them up. How are you going to help them if you don't know where you are on the compass? You need to be north. You need to have a true north in Christ. How are you going to get somebody out of the storm if you're not anchored in the veil yourself? And that's where we are today. We go into the muck, we go into the mire, we compromise. We're in the fog of being woke to every perversion against God's way by an enemy jealous of his creative power because he can't create anything. He just has to pervert everything. What we have to resist, here's how I'm going to end it with this, and then we'll get out of it. We have to resist the devil's fruit pies. Resist the devil's fruit pies.
Huh.
All Eve had to say is, I'm sorry, brother, we're not having pie tonight. I know my husband would enjoy this, and he's kind of in agreement with me, but we've actually decided this is not good and pleasing for the sight. It looks pretty on the outside, but we hear the inside's death because our Father told us it is.
Right.
And we trust him. And had she let go, we could all still be naked and running around and happy. And we'd be just a bunch of us like naked and happy, The current show's out naked and afraid. We'd be naked and happy. They never do a show naked and happy.
No.
Because nobody's
not very happy, are they?
They're never happy. I saw the preview for one the other day, and the girl says, "Oh, I love being naked, and I love doing everything outdoors." And within 6 seconds, she'd stepped on 3 thorns, and she was on the ground crying and saying, "This is horrible."
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. I gotta go home. So we were naked and happy, and we just won't be like that again. Outside the presence of God. No. There'll be a day when we can stand before God in our robes of righteousness, and then again, we'll be clothed in righteousness and happy. Let's go for that instead. So what's our last rule here? Let me give the rule, and we're going to get off this episode. Does what I'm saying make sense? Yeah. I'm going to go back before I quote this rule. I'm going to go back and get it because I think now y'all are going to understand where I was coming from. Because I think I lost y'all. Y'all just.
We just zoned out.
No. I think I lost you guys. It's not about the now. It's about being ready for now.
Yes.
Okay. So does it make more sense now? Okay. So the rule is it's not about now, but it's about being ready for now. So here's the rule. Here we go. Ready? Drum roll. You have a drum roll too. Build your headquarters where you live on the rock. Stay out of the muck and the mire, build on the rock, and sing that new song that got you there. And that'll keep you in a good place. Don't go out in the muck and the mire again. Stay on the rock and wait for people to say, could you give me a hand up? I'd like to try your perspective. My boots are sucked in the mud. Can you help me out? If you step down there into the compromise, if you take the fruit pie bait, you won't be able to get out either. And if everybody gets out and gets compromised, who will rescue the perishing? Mm-hmm. So surrender all, love Jesus and fear God. You get double portion strength from training in the room ahead of time and building spiritual stamina through spiritual warfare. Overcome evil with good, and build your headquarters on the rock. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think like Lucas said, you got to do that ahead of time, not after the time. You can't build that kind of strength. You can't build that kind of relationship with God just on the fly. You've got to be intentional right now. So get up in the morning a little earlier, get in the word, get in the prayer, spend some time doing some things, develop your relationship with other people, be consistent in that day in and day out, treat other people well, overcome evil with good. And then there's going to be an opportunity for them to say, can you help me up? And make sure you're helping them up, not pulling them down. Because if you're down in the muck, you're just going to pull them into your mess. Let's lift people up. But before that, get yourself up. And that's why we're in training camp. We want to get up there so we can help people get up there with us and build the kingdom of God and be the resistance. Any questions? I think that's a good thing. I hope if you have any questions, we'll see it. We'll see if I'm going to test Donna right now. Donna, we have the ability to let people reach out through social media, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter. And if you could throw that third screen up, I don't know if you've touched the third screen yet, but Oh, you haven't got the third screen yet.
No.
Oh, well, hey, don't worry. I got full screens. But go to our social media partners, and we would love to hear your testimony of, like Johnny Wyckoff, how you got up out of the muck and you got onto the rock. And we'd like to hear about what that new song is. Share that on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, Getter, or maybe go into one of the feeds on YouTube and just kind of share that in your comments and just make that an Ebenezer, your memorial stone. Share that with others because it will inspire others and let others know, hey, we've all come from places and we're all trying to get out of places, and let's help other people get to where they can find Jesus, and let's build a church that the gates of hell cannot prevail against. We will be back in the next episode. And we'll take a look at Rule 6, and that's getting close to the back end of our rules. And then we'll have an incredible training camp graduation day coming up real soon. So join us at onthedoc.org, email at info@onthedoc.org, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Facebook, Roku, Rumble, and Sermonet. We'd really like you to use YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes if you can. And again, those Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, Getter, talk to us on that. What do you think, Donnie? If they talk to us, will you talk back to them?
Of course. I love to talk.
We'd love to talk back to you. Tell us how you got up on the rock, and tell us how you're getting prepped now so you'll be ready for the then now. And I wonder if some of y'all understood that. I hope I didn't confuse everybody. And hit subscribe, like, notify, tell others about the show. Don't forget to be a partner on Patreon. Go check that out. Download the My Patreon app. 4 levels of partnership, 3 levels of organizational businesses, individuals. We can have you as sponsors on the show. We'd love to have you. If you don't have a church home, 10 o'clock on Sunday, 6:30 on Wednesday, come on out to Community Faith Church. If you live in Southern Illinois, we'd love to have you. You can watch us online at coftv.com. And if you aren't in this area and you want to find a home church, reach out to us and we'll try to help you find a church that's good Bible believing, that will help you build a foundation on the stone in your area. Mother Beth, you got any final words?
No final words.
No final words.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. Lucas, thank you. How did Donna do?
Good.
I quit finding errors. What did we have her up to? I had her like maybe
4 or
5.
5.
4. I think I had 4, but I put a 5th because I bound to have missed something. Oh, so pretty good 5. So tomorrow we'll set the tone to see if Colt can do 5. And then when we do the next episode, we'll see if she can beat 5. Come back on the dock and find out if Donna wins or fails and beats 5 in the next episode as we come back at part 6 in our series, The Resistance Training Camp, Rule 6. We'll see you soon. I'm Pastor Troy. Get out there and live your life. Your headquarters on the rock. We love you. On the dock, Pastor Troy, Mother Beth, got Lucas and Donna. We'll see you soon.